Okay, so we're going to start getting into the meat and potatoes of today's podcast here. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about socialization a little bit here. I think this is probably going to be like a socialization part 1 and part 2 kind of sitch. We're going to do part 1 today, which is just the concepts of socialization, discussing our ideas behind how we do it, why we do it, and then we'll get into some tactical stuff for the next one as far as socialization. So, what's up?
Said cool.
Dope.
Plans. Look at that. We have a plan.
It's a very loose plan. It's a very loose plan.
It's more than we usually have,
Yeah.
so I'll take it.
All right, so socialization, right? This is the freaking most discussed, debated topic out there in the dog world, I would say, right?
100.
Everybody from trainers to owners to this and that, everybody knows you need socialization. Nobody agrees on how to do it.
At all.
So I want to break down the 3 types of socialization that I feel we have, and then I will discuss some concepts of it. Again, like we said at the beginning of the podcast, it's going to be very much geared towards a new dog, right? We're getting our puppy, right? We're trying to expose it the correct way to the great unknown, right? So the 3 types of socialization we have. People. So does your dog know how to interact with people, right? All sorts of different types of people. Big, tall, black, white, male, female, fucking everything. Kids, adults, right? Dogs. Does your dog know how to interact with other dogs, right? Do they know how to play properly? Do we understand how to allow them to play properly? Do we know how to not get scared off by the noises and the sounds and the biting and the jumping? We had a client the other day. We posted a video of this dog, Hugo. It's a little guy, right, in for training right now. Hugo's a playing machine. He takes on these big dogs like no one's business. And he's like this big. Whatever. Hugo, again, super social, right?
Yeah.
Owners carry him around everywhere as the baby, whatever, you know? So they're like, how's he been with the other dogs? Like, he's been great. Couldn't be better. Social butterfly. We let him with any dogs here, right? His reply was, he jumps and bites the face a lot. I don't like that.
Okay.
Listen, again, like we'll explain the process and stuff. I'm not trying to hate on this guy or anything, right? But we don't determine what play is.
No.
Right? Only dogs understand that kind of stuff, right? And it's our job to listening to understand, right? It's our job to understand how dogs play. It's our job to understand what it means when they do different types of things. And it's our job to not get scared off by those things. And because we're scared off by those things, not allow our dog the opportunity to socialize, right?
To communicate, basically.
To communicate. We want to allow them to communicate. This feels like a philosophical podcast today. I feel like I'm talking weird. I feel like everything I'm saying is very, this is this. And if you look that, it feels kind of strange. I don't know.
That 8 a.m. start.
It's that 8 a.m. slow start. I guess when I'm tired, I talk a little. You know what it is? I feel like I'm talking slower than I usually do.
Yeah.
Right? And because I'm talking slower, it's making my points sound a little more important. And it's making me discuss them as more of concepts and to make sure everybody understands them. I feel weird today, Josh.
I like it. You're not running out of breath, at least.
No, you know what's funny is I noticed that. Like, this is the first time I feel like I'm talking for extended periods of time, and I'm like, wow, like I got there's this. Air in my lungs still. All right, the last kind of socialization is, and this is the key one, this is the one that everybody misses, environments, right? And environments means, does your dog know how to interact with the world around them? And when I say interact with the world around them, our goal with environmental socialization is creating neutrality to the world around them, right? I want to make sure my dog is not scared by trash cans, cars backfiring, fireworks in the distance, neighbors running down the driveway, whatever. Any number of things that might spook a dog. Manhole covers on the ground, this, that, right? I want to make sure that they've been around these things enough where they start to become neutral to them, right? Now, I think the key here is any situation you go in, you need to ask yourself, are we going into this situation to socialize with people, to socialize with dogs, or to socialize with environments? Let me give an example of, because here's the thing, right? You can only improve on one at a time, right? So let me give you an example of what I see people do wrong.
Okay.
We use the example of Platform Brewery, because since I go there every week, I see some ridiculous shit happen there, right?
Yeah.
So last Monday, whatever, nice day out, it was popping up there, trivia's rolling. By the way, our greatest win in the history of the last 2 years of us doing trivia was last Monday.
Okay.
There were, I think, almost 20 teams, and typically speaking, there's only about 8, right? 20 teams there. The way the trivia works is you got rounds, right? You got 6 rounds, right? You got a halftime question, then you got an end question, right? 3 questions per round. We weren't doing too hot, right? We're down to like last round, whatever, Finish off last round, and we were in like 9th. No, we were in like 12th place or something. Like we were far down. We were like, we counted ourselves out at this point. Like we had a bad day, right? Bonus question comes around. Here's how the bonus question works. You get asked some sort of question. In this case, it was the topic was words, right? And it said all of these words are going to start with the first 2 letters, right? We're going to give you the Webster definition of the word. You need to tell us what the word is, right? I honestly am totally blanking right now on what those specific words are, but I think they began with like QU or some sort of, they were weird words, right? With that question, you could wager as many points as you want. You wager up to 15 points, right? Okay. 15 points be a full send. If you win that, you get 15 points. If you get even one of those wrong, you lose 15 more points, which fucking tanks you, right?
Yeah.
So we full sent it on the 15, right? Hard question. We were confident in it. Got it right. We were the only team there to get it right. First place victory, which means that multiple other teams full sent and didn't get it, dropping them down low enough, pushing us to the top. We won it. There were tears. We were jumping on tables. We won our fucking $20 gift card. It was phenomenal. It's the best victory ever. Anyways, in the midst of all of this, I'm digressing here, right? How I experienced improper socialization, right? Because you can't do all of them at the same time. If you do them all at the same time, you create a mishmash of the dog doesn't know what the fuck is happening, right? There's a bunch of people there with dogs, whatever. They're all out of control and stuff. And I watched the situation. And, dude, I was this close to taking my phone out and taking a video of it. It was so ridiculous. Jesus. Right? So they're in a new environment, right? They're not creating neutrality to the environment. They're letting the dogs go all over the place, obviously, first off, right? They let 3 dogs pull into the center greeting area, all with tension on their leash, all interacting, while like 3 people are on the ground petting and kissing all of the dogs, right? So they're doing bad environmental socialization, bad dog socialization, and bad people socialization.
Yeah.
Recipe for disaster. This is why your dogs are out of control. Whatever. Digressing. So you got to pick one at a time. When you go to a new place, right? I think at one point somebody even picked up one of the dogs throughout the process and started holding it like a baby or something like that. It was ridiculous. Whatever. So you got to pick one at a time, right? Because the more we isolate a specific thing, the better the dog will improve on it with, right? So people socialization. If we're going to be socializing a dog with other people, that means that we are going to be getting them interacting with people. Obviously, you have to make sure you're doing it the right way, which we'll get into the specifics of how to do so. But if you're doing that, it should be done in an environment that they're comfortable in, right? Because if we're putting them in a new environment, and having them interact with new people, they're going to be distracted by the environment. They're already going to be in a higher state of stress or arousal, and the socialization is not going to be as fluid or organic as we want it to be.
Yeah.
In addition to that, if we have other dogs around and we're trying to do people interaction or people socialization, they're going to be distracted by the dog and could potentially create problems, because since there's going to be a lot of interaction going on, those people are still going to be to some extent a resource, which can create problems with the dog-on-dog socialization, right? If we're socializing with dogs, we have to make sure that, again, it's in a neutral environment, that the dog is not new to them or anything, right? We need to make sure that we're not having any interaction from the people standpoint, right? Because if they're trying to interact with other dogs, any information we're giving is going to be giving mixed messages. It's going to be reinforcing certain things in a way that we don't want to be. It's going to be creating resources, which creates competition, and it creates problems as well, right? So that's why we always say when you're having your dog interact with a new dog, it's about the dogs. You don't interact with the dogs while they're interacting with each other, period, right?
Yeah.
You supervise it, and you only step in if there's a problem that you need to address. That's it, right? Environmental socialization, right? We don't want to interact with people or dogs, because when we're in that environment, we want our dog neutral to all of those things around them, right? So understanding the 3 types of socialization is the first step here, and understanding that you can't intermingle them, right? It doesn't work that way. You have to allow the dog to socialize with one at a time, right? You need to know when you go to a situation, which one is it going to be, and you need to pick it, and you need to make sure you stick with it if you want this to go efficiently. Again, I'm not saying that a dog fight is going to happen every time you do one of these wrong.
Yeah.
Obviously, I watched the worst situation possible, and a dog fight didn't happen. But that situation, I know, is not productive in any way, shape, or form to those dogs.
Yeah.
Right? If anything, it did create more problems by creating a stressful, hectic situation that will create more stress the next time they go to interact with another dog. Right?